I was standing in our bedroom doorway watching her pack designer clothes for a girls' weekend when her phone lit up with a text from her ex. Can't wait to finally have you all to myself this weekend, just like old times. Hey friends, please subscribe and turn on notifications, like this video, and leave a comment with your impressions. This will be a great help. Thank you. We never tire of reminding you. It's all thanks to you. It was late April in Nashville, Tennessee, that perfect spring weather when the dogwoods are blooming and everyone remembers why they moved to Music City. I'm 36. Work as an inventory control manager for a medical device distributor based out in Cool Springs. Stable career, decent paycheck, the kind of job where precision and documentation matter. I'd brought that same careful attention to my relationship with Gabrielle, 4 years together, engaged for 8 months, living in a 2-bedroom apartment in the Gulch for the past 2 years. Gabrielle is 32, works as a brand manager for a lifestyle company downtown. Fashion-forward, social media savvy, always networking at some event or gallery opening. We'd complemented each other well, I thought. I handled the practical logistics of our life, while she brought the style and connections. When we got engaged last August, we'd started planning a wedding for this coming September. Venue booked, photographer secured, the works. That Friday afternoon, I came home early from a supplier meeting that wrapped ahead of schedule. Our apartment was on the 14th floor with floor-to-ceiling windows that looked out over the Nashville skyline. I could hear music playing from the bedroom as I came in, Gabrielle's Getting Ready playlist, the one she played when she was preparing for something important. I walked down the hallway and stopped in the bedroom doorway. She was packing an expensive rolling suitcase, the kind she usually saved for work trips to New York or LA. But this wasn't her usual work wardrobe. Designer jeans I'd seen her wear maybe twice. That silk top from Nordstrom she'd bought for our anniversary dinner. Her nice leather jacket. 3 different pairs of heels wrapped in shoe bags. Going somewhere? I asked. She jumped slightly, then turned with a practiced smile. Oh hey, you're home early. Yeah, remember I told you about the girls' weekend? We're heading up to a spa resort in Kentucky, leaving in about an hour. I didn't remember her mentioning any girls' weekend, but I let it pass. Who's going? Just some friends from college. Madison, Taylor, that group. We try to do a weekend together once a year. That's nice. When will you be back? Sunday evening probably. She was folding a dress now, something I'd never seen her wear. It's going to be super relaxing. Massages, facials, the whole thing. Her phone buzzed on the nightstand. She glanced at it quickly, and I saw her expression flicker, something between excitement and guilt. She picked it up, read whatever was on the screen, and set it face down. Everything okay? I asked. Yeah, just Madison confirming pickup time. I nodded and went to the kitchen to grab some water. As I was filling a glass, her phone buzzed again on the bedroom nightstand. I heard her pick it up, heard the tap of her typing a response. Curiosity got me. I walked back to the bedroom doorway. She had her back to me, phone in hand, smiling at whatever she was reading. I could see the reflection in the mirror across from her. The name at the top of her text thread, Lucas Hart. Lucas, her ex-boyfriend from her mid-20s. The guy she dated for almost 3 years when they both lived in Atlanta, before she moved to Nashville for her current job about 5 years ago. I knew they'd stayed loosely in touch, occasional Instagram likes, maybe a happy birthday text. She'd mentioned him maybe 3 times in 4 years. Ancient history, she'd always said. From where I stood, I could see the text she was reading in the mirror reflection. Can't wait to finally have you all to myself this weekend, just like old times. I've been thinking about this since you first mentioned it. She was smiling as she typed back, but I couldn't make out what she wrote. Then she tucked the phone into her purse and zipped up the suitcase. I stepped back from the doorway before she turned around. When she emerged into the living room, I was sitting on the couch scrolling through my own phone. Okay, I'm heading out, she said, pulling her suitcase behind her. I'll text you when we get there. Drive safe. She leaned down and kissed my forehead. Love you. Don't have too much fun without me. Wouldn't dream of it. She left, and I listened to her heels clicking down the hallway, the ding of the elevator, silence. I sat there for a long moment. Then I opened my laptop. We had a shared cloud drive where we kept important documents, lease agreements, insurance policies, wedding planning files. I navigated to the wedding folder. The venue contract was there, for a place called Cedarwood Weddings just outside the city. Total package cost, $38,000. We'd put down a deposit of 12,000, split evenly between us 6,000 each. I'd paid my half via check in October. The contract was clear, deposits fully refundable if canceled more than 6 months before the event date. Our wedding was September 16th. Today was April 22nd. That was just under 5 months. I'd missed the refund window by 3 weeks. I stared at that cancellation clause for a full minute. $12,000, non-refundable. That stung. But something about the finality of it also felt clarifying. The window had closed. The money was gone regardless, which meant I had nothing left to protect. I pulled up our apartment lease next. Both names on it. Annual term running through June 30th. 2 months remaining. There was a standard clause about giving notice before the lease ended. 60 days required to avoid automatic renewal. Today was April 22nd. 60 days would put me at June 21st, 9 days before the lease ended. I could give notice and walk away clean at the end of June. I also found our renter's insurance policy. Listed all the valuable items in the apartment with their owners. My electronics, my furniture from before we moved in together, my kitchen equipment, all documented as mine. The designer furniture Gabrielle had insisted on, her art pieces, her wardrobe, all hers. The division would be clean. I spent Friday evening researching apartments. Found a 1-bedroom in East Nashville, different vibe entirely, more laid-back and artsy. Rent was $1,400 a month, $300 less than my half of our current place. Available June 1st. I sent an inquiry to the landlord. Saturday morning I got a response. The place was still available. Could I view it today? I drove over at 11. The apartment was perfect. Hardwood floors, updated kitchen, small balcony overlooking a tree-lined street. Quiet. Peaceful. Mine. I'll take it, I told the landlord. Great. First month, last month, and security deposit comes to $4,200 total. I can have that to you by Monday. We shook hands. He emailed me the lease application that afternoon. I filled it out, provided my employment verification and references, and sent it back by 5 p.m. He called me at 6:30. Everything checks out. Place is yours. I'll send the official lease tomorrow. You can pick up keys May 28th. I transferred the deposit Sunday morning from my personal savings. Then I opened a new document and started drafting a letter to our current property manager. Gabrielle texted Saturday afternoon, having an amazing time. The spa here is incredible. Weather is perfect too. I responded, glad you're enjoying yourself. Sunday evening around 8, I heard her key in the door. I was sitting on the couch working on some inventory reports for Monday. She came in looking refreshed, glowing even, pulling her suitcase behind her. Hey babe, she said brightly. I missed you. How was the spa? Unbelievable. We got these hot stone massages, and there was this amazing restaurant on the property. She was unpacking her suitcase in the bedroom, talking through the doorway. I feel like a completely new person. Sounds rejuvenating. It really was. We should go sometime, just the two of us. Maybe. She came back out to the living room in her loungewear, settling onto the couch beside me. How was your weekend? Productive. Did some apartment hunting. She laughed. Already tired of this place? We just renewed the lease. Actually, I found a new place in East Nashville. Signed a lease yesterday. I move in June 1st. The smile froze on her face. What? I'm moving out. I also gave notice on this apartment effective June 30th. She stared at me. Nathan, what are you talking about? I saw the text from Lucas on Friday. Before you left. The color drained from her face. What text? The one where he said he couldn't wait to have you all to himself this weekend, just like old times. The one you were smiling at while you packed your designer clothes for your girls' spa weekend. She opened her mouth. Closed it. Opened it again. You went through my phone? I didn't need to. I saw the reflection in the mirror. You left your phone on the nightstand screen up. That was just Lucas being dramatic. It really was a girls' weekend. Was Lucas at the spa resort in Kentucky? Her silence was answer enough. Gabrielle, I'm going to ask you once directly. Was this weekend with Lucas? She looked down at her hands. He was there, but it's not what you think. What is it then? It was a group thing. Lucas brought some friends. Madison and Taylor were there too. Madison and Taylor, who you mentioned Friday as the college friends you see once a year? Yes. And Lucas just happened to be there. He's friends with Madison. She invited him. And the text about having you all to himself. She bit her lip. He was being flirty. It didn't mean anything. Flirty. With my fiancé. And you were smiling and texting him back, while packing lingerie I've never seen before. It wasn't lingerie. Gabrielle, stop. Just stop. I kept my voice level. You packed your nicest clothes. You lied about who would be there. You spent the weekend with your ex-boyfriend. And based on that text, it wasn't the first time you two have discussed this weekend. So I'm going to be very clear. I don't care whether anything physical happened. What I care about is that you lied to me, snuck off to spend a romantic weekend with an ex, and thought I'd be too stupid to notice. It wasn't romantic. Then why did you lie? She didn't have an answer. Here's what's going to happen, I continued. I signed a lease on a new apartment. I'm moving out June 1st. I gave notice on this place effective June 30th. You can stay here and take over the lease renewal, or you can move out too. That's your choice. Nathan, you can't just leave. I already did. Legally, financially, emotionally. I'm out. We're engaged. We're getting married in September. Not anymore. You can't cancel the wedding. I already looked into it. We're past the refund window. The deposit is gone either way. So yeah, the wedding is canceled. She started crying. This is insane. You're throwing away 4 years over a weekend with friends. You threw it away when you chose to lie to me and spend a romantic getaway with your ex-boyfriend. I'm just handling the logistics. Nothing happened with Lucas. I don't believe you. But even if that's true, it doesn't change anything. You showed me I can't trust you. That's enough. Please don't do this. She was fully sobbing now. I love you. I made a stupid mistake. I should have been honest about Lucas being there. But nothing happened. I swear. You swear now. What are you going to swear next time you decide to be honest only after you get caught? There won't be a next time. You're right. Because there won't be an us. She tried everything over the next hour. Minimization. It was just innocent friendship. Blame. I was being controlling and jealous. Anger. How dare I make decisions about our future without consulting her? Tears. She couldn't believe I'd give up on us so easily. I didn't engage with any of it. I just kept stating the facts. I'd signed a new lease. I'd given notice. I was leaving. The relationship was over. Finally, she grabbed her phone and went into the bedroom, slamming the door. I slept on the couch that night. Over the next few weeks, I systematically organized my exit. I packed my belongings carefully, photographing everything for documentation. I updated my address with my employer, my bank, all my accounts. I transferred utilities into Gabrielle's name effective July 1st with confirmation emails to both of us. The wedding vendors were trickier. The venue deposit was non-refundable, but I sent emails to the photographer, the florist, and the caterer canceling our contracts. Most had cancellation fees, but they were minimal compared to what we would have paid for the full services. I documented every cancellation confirmation. Gabrielle tried multiple approaches that first week. Monday, she didn't speak to me at all. Tuesday, she left notes around the apartment. Can we please just talk about this like adults? I texted back. We did talk. I explained my decision. There's nothing else to discuss. Wednesday evening, I got a call from an unknown number. I let it go to voicemail. It was Lucas. Hey man, this is Lucas Hart. I know this is weird, but Gabrielle gave me your number. I wanted to clear the air. Nothing physical happened between us this weekend. We're just old friends who reconnected. I think there's been a misunderstanding here. Maybe we could grab a beer and talk it through. I deleted the message and blocked the number. Thursday, Gabrielle's mother called me. I'd always gotten along with her family, which made this harder. Nathan, honey, what's going on? Gabrielle is beside herself. Hi, Mrs. Morrison. I appreciate the call, but this is between Gabrielle and me. She said you're leaving over a spa weekend with friends. That's her version. Mine involves lying and secret meetings with an ex-boyfriend. There was a long pause. Oh, yeah, I see. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Me too, but I've made my decision. You're a good man, Nathan. I hope you find what you're looking for. Thank you. Take care of yourself. Friday evening, Gabrielle cornered me as I was packing boxes in the bedroom. Can we please just have one honest conversation about this? I looked up from the box I was taping. What do you want to talk about? About us. About the wedding. About whether this is really what you want. I've been very clear about what I want. I want out. But why? Because I went on one trip where Lucas happened to be. Because you lied to me about where you were going and who you'd be with. Because you packed your nicest clothes and your best lingerie for a weekend with your ex-boyfriend. Because when I confronted you, your first response was to lie more and minimize what happened. Because I can't trust you anymore. I've apologized. Apologizing doesn't rebuild trust. And I'm not interested in spending the next year or 5 years or however long wondering what else you're lying about. I'm not lying about anything else. How would I know? You were very convincing about the girls' spa weekend too. She flinched. That's not fair. Neither was lying to your fiancé. She tried once more. What if I cut contact with Lucas completely? What if I let you check my phone whenever you want? What if we do counseling? No. Just no. Just no. I'm not interested in monitoring you like a parole officer. I want a partner I can trust without surveillance. You proved you're not that person. People make mistakes. And people experience consequences. This is yours. She left the room crying. I went back to packing. By mid-May, I had most of my belongings in storage. The apartment looked noticeably emptier, but still functional. Everything I'd left behind was either clearly hers or shared items I had no attachment to. I got an email from Gabrielle on May 18th. Subject, please read. The message was long, explaining how Lucas had reached out a few months ago about coming to Nashville for work, how they'd started texting occasionally, how when he mentioned planning a weekend trip she'd suggested including her friends to keep it group-oriented, how she'd panicked about telling me because she knew I'd be uncomfortable, how she'd convinced herself it was fine since it wasn't just the two of them, how nothing physical had happened, how she'd realized afterward what a mistake it was, how she'd told Lucas they couldn't stay in touch, how she wanted to fix things with me. I read it once. Then I set up an email filter to send her messages to a folder I wouldn't check. June 1st, I moved into my East Nashville apartment with help from 2 guys from work. We had everything transported in about 3 hours. The new place felt right immediately, smaller, quieter, completely mine. I did a final walkthrough of the Gulch apartment on June 2nd. Gabrielle was at work. I took comprehensive photos of each room, left my keys on the kitchen counter, and locked the door behind me using the knob lock. The property manager confirmed receipt of my notice and scheduled the final walkthrough for June 29th. I'd be completely clear of the lease by July 1st. June settled into a new rhythm. I focused on work, went to a different gym closer to my new place, started going to live music shows at small venues in my neighborhood, something I'd always wanted to do more of but never made time for. Life reorganized itself around Gabrielle's absence, and I found I preferred the simplicity. Mid-July, I ran into Gabrielle's colleague Whitney at a coffee shop near my office. We'd met a few times at company events. Nathan, hey, how are you? Doing well. You? Good. I heard about you and Gabrielle. I'm really sorry. Thanks. It's for the best. She hesitated. I probably shouldn't say this, but Lucas apparently was telling people they'd been talking for months before that weekend. Like, serious conversations about getting back together. Gabrielle found out when one of his friends mentioned it at some party. She was pretty crushed. I processed that information. Sounds like he wasn't as innocent as he claimed. Yeah, apparently he'd been planning to try to win her back and thought that weekend was his opportunity. When she made it clear she was still committed to you, at least at the time, he got upset and started spreading stories. Interesting. You seem really calm about all this. I made my peace with it. What she did or didn't do with Lucas doesn't really matter anymore. The lying was enough. That's probably the healthiest way to look at it. We chatted for a few more minutes, then parted ways. I thought about what she'd said while I drove back to work. Lucas had been planning his move for months. Gabrielle had either been completely oblivious or partially complicit. Either way, she'd made choices that destroyed our relationship. I didn't feel vindicated, just confirmed. August arrived with typical Nashville heat and humidity. I took a long weekend and drove up to Mammoth Cave, did some hiking and exploring. Came back feeling clear and energized. The following Saturday, I was at a farmer's market in East Nashville, browsing the produce stalls, when I heard my name. Nathan. I turned. Gabrielle was standing there with a canvas shopping bag, looking thinner than I remembered. Her hair was different, darker. She looked tired. Gabrielle. Hi. I didn't know you came here. I live a few blocks away now. Oh, right. She shifted the bag to her other shoulder. How are you? I'm good. You? I'm okay. Work is crazy busy. That's good. Silence hung between us. She broke it first. I heard about Lucas. About him telling people we were getting back together. Whitney mentioned something. It wasn't true. I never gave him any indication I was interested. He completely misread the situation. Okay. I just wanted you to know that. In case it matters. It doesn't change anything. I figured. She looked down at her bag. I moved. Got a studio in Germantown. The Gulch apartment was too expensive alone. I hope it's working out. It's fine. Smaller. Quieter. Pause. I canceled the wedding. Notified all the vendors. Lost the deposits on most of them. I'm sorry about that. Are you? Yeah. I didn't want you to lose money. I just didn't want to marry someone who lies to me. She nodded slowly. That's fair. That's more than fair. Another pause. I miss you, Nathan. I'm sorry you're going through a hard time. Is there any possibility? No. You didn't let me finish. Doesn't matter what the question is. The answer is no. We were together for years. Engaged. Planning a life together. And you threw it away for a weekend with your ex-boyfriend. Those were your choices. I made a mistake. You made multiple deliberate decisions. You chose to reconnect with Lucas. You chose to plan a weekend getaway. You chose to lie to me about it. Those weren't mistakes. They were choices. Her eyes filled with tears. I've learned from this. I know what I did wrong. Good. That'll help you in your next relationship. I don't want a next relationship. I want you. You should have thought about that before. How can you be this cold? For years together, and you're just done? I'm not cold. I'm clear. You showed me who you are when you're tempted. I listened. That's not coldness. That's self-respect. She wiped at her eyes. I really did love you. Past tense. Yeah, that sounds right. She stood there for another moment, waiting. I didn't give her anything else. I should go, she said finally. Take care, Gabrielle. You too. She walked away toward the parking area without looking back. I watched her go for a second, then turned back to the produce stand and picked up some heirloom tomatoes I'd been eyeing. The market was crowded, alive with music and conversation. I walked through the stalls, bought some fresh bread and local honey, talked to a vendor about her jam flavors. Normal Saturday things. The kind of easy, uncomplicated morning I'd built my new life around. I drove home to my quiet apartment, unloaded my market finds, and made myself lunch. Sat by the window eating a tomato sandwich and watching the neighborhood move through its weekend rhythm. Everything I could see from here, the apartment, the choices, the peace, was mine. I didn't feel triumphant. I just felt right. When someone lies to spend time with their ex and expects you to just accept their explanations, do you stay and try to rebuild trust or recognize that the foundation is already broken? Let me know what you think in the comments.